Welcome back to the Results Operations Centre here at the Electoral Commission. I must just tell you, we've heard the voice of Kate Papella, the spokesperson for the IEC. She's talking just behind me, and she's just sort of called everyone to order as she does. She might be somewhat on someone's list for the position of Speaker in the National Assembly from the way she does it. The point I'm making is that it does look like they're going to try very hard to start on time. So 5 minutes from now, we expect the proclamation, the closing ceremony of Elections 2019 to get underway. Mzwandile Mbejes, SABC senior political reporter, and Ungama Mtumka, political analyst, still with me now. Gentlemen, let's talk about the Democratic Alliance. Mzwandile, I spoke to James Self-on-Air yesterday, the chairperson of the Federal Council of the Democratic Alliance. I asked him, was there going to be a challenge to Mmusi Maimane? He said, sort of categorically, I thought, I'll have to go and check on sabcnews.com, but he said no. Do you believe him? Do you trust him?
Certainly not. I have had the opportunity, Stephen, to mingle with a number of DA people here on the floor. I could see how they're feeling, and you know, some of them they would indicate to you that after this result something has got to happen. Apparently there are already elements that are agitating for leadership change. So how influential they are, it's anybody's guess.
Well, this is interesting. I mean, they went from 22% to 20.77%. They lose 4 seats in the National Assembly. Ungama, I mean, do you agree with Mzwandile's analysis? Are you expecting some kind of action against Mmusi Maimane?
I think there may be agitations for it, especially if there was a theoretical, there was some thought process that said Gwen resigned so that she could be positioned to go and challenge Mmusi Maimane. I think they'd be short-sighted if they made such a move, because first of all, you can't.
Ungama, I'm going to ask you to just stop there. All right, I'm going to tell you, everyone here is being asked to rise, so we should probably do the same as we welcome the commissioners, and I expect the president of the Electoral Commission to join us here as well. We'll cross now to Nomsa Masuku, who is one of the program directors for the evening. You'll hear her voice from now on.
You'll be relieved to hear that. And I am one of the 5 commissioners. If I can ask the commissioners, please, and the Chief Electoral Officer to take their seats, please, to remain standing, I'd be grateful. May I please ask you to remain standing as I welcome the head of the state, His Excellency, President Cyril Ramaphosa. You will remain standing when I do so, and please continue standing until we sing the national anthem. We're ready for the President. Thank you very much. May I please invite you? Ladies and gentlemen, can you please, let us please sing the national anthem. Can you please observe the necessary decorum? Thank you. standing as we observe a moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. Please take your seats. Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of South Africa, may I take this opportunity to welcome you to the National Results Operations Center on behalf of the Electoral Commission of South Africa. May I please also welcome your entourage of ministers and all the friends of South Africa that are in this edifice today. We've come today as we come to mark a significant point in the electoral cycle that I think all of us know has been a cycle that has been vibrant and that has said a lot about the nature and texture of our democracy. This evening, my job is a very simple one. It is to make sure that we work through the program and that we keep time and generally be comfortable in this room. Without wasting much time, please allow me to invite, before I invite, may I please introduce to you the commissioners of the Electoral Commission. On my extreme right-hand side, you have Commissioner Miepia. Next to him is Judge Daya Pillay. Next to her is the Vice Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Ms. Janet Love. And next to her is the Chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Mr. Glenn Mashinini. And next to him is our Chief Electoral Officer, Mr. Mamabolo. I have already introduced myself. Let me not do so a second time. Please allow me at this point in time to invite the Chief Electoral Officer of the Electoral Commission to please make his remarks. Sorry?
Thank you very much, Program Director. Your Excellency, President of the Republic of South Africa, Honorable Cyril Ramaphosa, President Kikwete, Chairperson of the Electoral Commission of South Africa, Mr. Glenn Mashinini, Commissioners, Justice Daya Pillay, Dr. Nomsa Masugu, and Mr. Mosotho Moepja, Honorable Ministers and Deputy Ministers, former chairpersons and chief electoral officers of the Commission, chairpersons and commissioners of follow Chapter 9 institutions, Your Excellencies, leaders of political parties, Your Excellencies and members of the diplomatic corps, members of international and domestic observer groups, representatives of faith-based institutions, representatives of civil society, representatives of parliament, members of the media, fellow South Africans, good evening. An election is a constitutional opportunity created for qualifying citizens to express political choices through the ballot. It is also about people who, through their choices, determine the political agenda of a nation. In the final analysis, an election is a constitutionally defined procedure to determine the will of a people. 2019 national and provincial elections were precisely about that, determining the political will of the South African people. Tonight, it's a final step of a journey which began more than 2 years ago. Indeed, it has been a journey of twists and turns, a journey of ups and downs, a journey punctuated by political maturity on the one hand and intense contestation on the other. It has been a journey that has been proudly traversed by the indomitable staff of the Electoral Commission and the tens of thousands of volunteers who have once again made South Africa proud. Our eternal gratitude and thanks to every one of you for your hard work, dedication, professionalism, and above all, for your integrity. In this regard, I want to acknowledge especially the Executive Committee of the institution, my team in ESCO, the provincial electoral officers, members of MENCO, and indeed all our staff, both in head office, provincial offices, as well as municipal offices. Without your sterling contribution, this project would have been impossible. But the Electoral Commission alone did not deliver this election. Our journey to tonight's announcement has been traveled with many partners along the way. Political parties, government, civil society, the media, the international community, observers, and of course, the people and the voters of South Africa. To all of you, we offer our deepest gratitude and appreciation for the support and cooperation in delivering our country's 6th national and provincial elections. Fellow South Africans, 25 years and 10 days after our first democratic elections, the people of South Africa have once again come together in their millions to participate in democratic elections and to affirm our belief in a united, democratic, and peaceful South Africa. Once again, we have shown the world that despite our differences and challenges, we still unite under a vision of a common destiny for our country as a democratic, free, just, and equal society. These elections are without prevarication the most complex, highly contested, and logistically demanding in our history as a country and as an institution. They have tested all of us like never before. The Electoral Commission, political parties, the media, government, security agencies, and indeed our people throughout the country. Nonetheless, and despite these challenges, it is our incontrovertible belief we have all come through this election even stronger as an institution. We have come through this election even stronger as a people. We have come through this election even stronger as a country. As the Electoral Commission, we have learned that there is always scope for evolution in systems, people, and processes. Indeed, each and every aspect of elections is under the most intense scrutiny, not only by party agents, observers, and the media, but also by ordinary citizens and voters. Armed with cell phones, cameras, and videos, and linked to social media platforms, they have added a layer of oversight and monitoring that can only serve to enhance the quality and integrity of future elections. We have also learned that the exponential increase in the number of political parties presents the voter with a great choice, whilst at the same time presenting challenges for electoral operations. This increase has most certainly added to the vibrancy and plurality of political opinion and has given voters more choice than ever before. That, I think, is a multi-party democracy in action. But it has also presented the Electoral Commission with a variety of challenges, including significantly increased costs for printing, transport, and logistics relating to ballot papers and ballot boxes. It has also presented us with challenges of space in voting stations and indeed here at the Results Operations Center. It has also meant a long and rather cumbersome ballot paper for voters, which has increased the time taken for counting and results collation. Distinguished guests, media reports over the past few days have focused on a particularly negative discourse, highlighting isolated cases where our systems, processes, and people may have not worked perfectly. But there is another discourse, a lesser told story of 18 million voters who were assisted to vote honestly, quickly, and easily. A story of voters who climbed mountains and crossed rivers to cast their ballots in pursuit of an ideal to participate in the process of determining the political will of the people. A story of election officials who, through their dedication and passion for our electoral democracy and country, worked night and day to ensure a free and fair election and the rapid collation of results. It is a story of a nascent democratic nation continuing to move forward and defying odds. This is a story borne out by observer missions from South Africa and around the world, which unanimously endorse these elections as free and fair. It is a story borne out by the Human Research Sciences Council on Voter Experience Survey, which made the following findings. 97% of sampled voters found the voting procedures inside the voting station easy to understand. 96% of sampled voters feel that the election procedures were free and fair. 96% of voters voiced general satisfaction with the quality of services rendered by the IEC officials to voters. 3% expressing a neutral position and 1% dissatisfied. 68% of voters took less than 15 minutes to reach their voting stations, and on average, 16 minutes in the queue before voting. 88% of voters found voting stations easily accessible to persons with disabilities and the elderly, while 6% did not. It is a story borne out by analysts, observers, and commentators who have not seen isolated problems, but widespread celebration and affirmation of electoral democracy in action in our country. Ladies and gentlemen, each election presents us all with yet a standard test for electoral democracy. Tonight, we can proudly proclaim as a nation that our democracy has once again withstood this examination and continues to endure with strength and fortitude. This is a tribute to the founding mothers and fathers of our democracy, who put in place a constitution grounded in democracy and the rule of law. It is a tribute to the founding mothers and fathers of the Electoral Commission, who put in place an electoral process which is transparent, inclusive, credible, and highly resilient. It is a tribute to political parties and their leaders and contestants who have respected the Constitution, the electoral laws, and regulations to fight hard but fair. And ultimately, it is a tribute to the people of South Africa who, having tasted democracy just 25 years ago, continue to display an unquenchable hunger for democracy, justice, and freedom for all. After all, the people have recorded their political will, which will soon be declared by the chairperson. To every person who participated, supported, worked, assisted, and voted in these elections, we say, thank you. Enkosi, raleboga, danki, ngiyathokoza. Thank you.